There we go. Hey everybody, it is Margaret and welcome to my channel, Texas Gal Treasures. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 vintage costume jewelry marks that are pretty common that if you are a beginner, you need to keep your eyes open for. So we're going to talk about these 5 brands and the kinds of prices you can ask for the different pieces that you will pick up. So before I get started, I want to say, hey, if you're new here, my name is Margaret. I make lots of videos about jewelry, reselling, and different ways to make and save money. And I would love to have you go down there and subscribe. You'll find lots of videos on my channel about different ways to identify jewelry, price jewelry, list jewelry if you are a jewelry seller or just interested in getting into selling jewelry. And if you're wondering why I'm so echoey, we're moving, and I thought, you know what, let me come on this morning, get this video up and out before we hit the ground running this morning. So I am live, and if you're ever interested in catching me live, go down there and hit the little bell notification next to the subscribe button so that you get notifications when I go live. And lots of awesome Texas Gal Tribe members are already here. Hello in the chat over there. Mary's there. Hi, keep in the house. Nice to see you. So good morning and thanks. Come over and join the chat. Lots of wonderful people come and talk and share info. So definitely do those things. All right, let's get started. I have chosen 5, and if you are if you're an experienced jewelry seller or collector, you know these brands, but these are 5 that you will find pretty readily out and about, and you may have actually found some of them and maybe weren't sure about the kind of prices you could ask for them and the variations in prices on these. So I wanted to hit those core ones just so if you're just starting out, you can think, okay, those are 5 that I for sure can find and that I for sure know I might be able to make a profit on. So let's do this. I'm going to switch over. Okay, good. Now, the site I'm using here, there's lots of amazing resources out on the internet, and one of them is Illusion Jewels. This is a site that shares tons of different maker's marks. So in my jewelry group on Facebook called Texas Gals Jewelry Lovers, we get questions all the time about different jewelry maker's marks, and we're happy to, but this is a resource that you could go to if you are searching for a certain mark, and they've got it broken down by alphabet. So let's get started. The first one that we're going to talk about is Tryfari, and Tryfari is, let's see, right here. So it's from 1918 to the present, and there are so many different Tryfari marks. So take a look. There's some that's a TK. There are some that say Tryfari with a little crown on top. So here it's easy when they spell it out right, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes there's a hang tag that's got a T with a little crown on top. So keep Tryfari in the back of your head because this is one that has been around for a long time, and they've got a lot of different styles and makes and lots of marks as well. So if you come back, and I'll link, you know what I didn't do? I didn't put this link down there, but I will before this video is out for very long when I'm done. So you can come on here and see all the different Tryfari marks, and that can help you also when you are dating your piece. Let's say you find a piece and you're not sure when it was made. Is it a current one? Can you list it on Etsy? Is it modern? Is it vintage? Well, these different maker's marks will help you determine what year the piece was made. So there's Tryfari. So now let's take a look. I'm pulling up eBay solds, and this is not always how I go about pricing my items. I tend to price on the higher end, but I wanted to just give you black and white what has sold on eBay. So I've done 2 searches. One is an ended recently, and then I also like to do, let's take a look at the highest selling pieces so that when you're out, you can kind of keep an eye out for some of the pieces that are higher selling. Again, good morning in the chat. I see you guys in there. Thanks so much for coming to hang out. So these are, and Tryfari is one of those brands, as with all of these, that have been around for a while and have got a lot of different styles. So it's hard to look for just that one piece or like, oh, it's gonna look like this, you know. So these are some sold listings. Now on some of them it looks like, because these are just ended recently, I don't generally do auctions on things, but that's personal preference because I like to get higher. Some of the prices are a little bit lower, but here's one that sold for $41. Here's another $78. You can also see some really great keywords if you're looking for not pricing, but listing your item, so you can find the keywords to help it be found. So there's brooches, you know, 25 bucks. Here's some, $10, $25. And if you're picking up jewelry, say at a garage sale or from a jewelry jar, and getting it for $1 or less, then a nice $20, $40 profit is pretty good. It's nothing to sneeze at, that's for sure. So here's a just vintage Tryfari brooch that sold. It looks like a flower or something. So those are just ended recently. So let's take a look at the ones that have ended. Oh, that frog is cute. That were the highest price. And I think eBay saves them for 90 days. Correct me if I'm wrong. So these would be within the last 90 days. And if you see, I like to look here too, that there's over 11,000 sold. So that means that it's something that people are buying currently. It's something people are looking for. There are collectors for it. So it's a really good jumping off point as far as a jewelry brand to look for. So if you're out there, you're looking at this pile of jewelry at the estate sale and you're just baffled and you want to turn and scream and run, then this is one thing you can look for, these 5 brands. Like, okay, Tryfari, remember this. It's 50 cents. I think I can take the risk on it. All right, so here are some of the higher ticket items. Now, thousands of dollars, some of them can go for. So, and some of them, they may just look like a bunch of flowers, but here's this Tryfari Felipe Pavé Leaves and Pastel, sold for, make sure I got my solds up there. Yep, got my solds. Sold for $1,500. You know, here's a David Murr, huge bejeweled one. I mean, and some of them like this poinsettia, I've seen this one sold before for prices like this. So it's something to look out for. It looks like just a big poinsettia flower, right? But if you know that there are collectors looking for it, then it's something that you could definitely pick up. So it is one of these, you know, as with all of these brands, there are lower end pieces that will sell for 20, 15, 20 bucks. And then there are way higher end pieces that will sell for thousands, hundreds, you know. So definitely keep your eyes peeled. And I have done another video about the jelly bellies that Tryfari, is it Tryfari? Yeah. So take a look at that video as well. I've done lots of different videos on different costume jewelry brands, but these again are 5 that are pretty common that you will most likely find when you are out there. Okay, so let's take a look at the second one. Before I go on, go down there and hit that thumbs up button if you're enjoying this content. And again, if you're new here, you're enjoying this kind of content, you want to learn more about jewelry, definitely hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more. I've got lots coming. Okay, so the next one, again, sorry, is Monet. And this is another one that you are going to be able to find. It's pretty common out there. So, and there's lots of different marks. Usually it says Monet, so it's pretty easy to, this mark was first started in 1937. It says Monet. So these are some of the different marks that you can find. Again, most of them just say Monet, which is very helpful, but they don't, you know, some brands don't always say the actual brand name. So let's take a look at some of the prices over here. These are ones that have ended recently, and then again, we'll look at ones that have from highest to lowest. Again, I like to look at how many results there are in sold, so 16,000, which means, again, this is something that people are looking for, this is something that people collect, this is something that is selling on eBay, online. So, all right, so here are some, this means the best offer was taken. So vintage runway, Monet, looks like a necklace and maybe a brooch there. It's beautiful. I think I've actually got this tassel necklace, but not listed. So again, I don't normally do auctions, but you know, that's my choice, I guess. So here are just some different standard pieces, you know, 20 bucks for the Monet faux pearls and on lots. And then you'll see on some of these, there's a lot of lots that are done that people sell. All right. Oh, I didn't sort by jewelry only. So, okay. So some of them are a bit lower, but you'll see that there are some Monet pieces that can go for more. I know I have this brooch. I would sell them for more though. let me take off, hang on, because I didn't search jewelry on this one. So let's do Monet jewelry, and then let's take off, see now it drops to 10,000 results, because I think it was pulling up Monet shirts and things like that. Let's take a look at buy it now, because I don't normally do auctions, so I think that kind of skews the price a little bit, you know, makes it look a little bit lower. So, you know, we're seeing, here's one that's 38 bucks. Yeah, $2 maybe wouldn't be something I would put at that price, but that's my choice, you know. So yeah, that's an option out there, the Monet. And now let's take a look at the higher priced ones. Again, there are a lot of lots out there. You'll find it in lots. So I'm trying to find some that were not lots. So here's a vintage runway rare Monet aqua piece for 123 that's sold. Here's another one, this necklace, 122. So it's just something to kind of keep an eye out for. Here's another one, looks like a Maltese cross sort of look, vintage massive runway piece. This hammered, you know, set, 4-piece set. So it is something that you can find, and some of them bring, especially with Monet, some brings good money, some brings on the lower end, but it is a good jumping off point to keep your eyes out for. So it looks like a lot of these big statement pieces, these runway type necklaces, more couture looking. Sorry, my laptop's sort of going sliding down, to keep your eyes out for. And here is just a lot. It looks like it has Monet and some other ones as well, of different brooches. Pardon me. Okay, so let me know right now in the comment section if you found any of these so far. Have you found any Tryfari? Have you found Monet? Or if you have not even started looking, let me know in the comment section. Is this going to be useful information for you? Are you going to be able to find one of these names that you can just latch onto and look for when you are out at estate sales or garage sales or thrift stores, so you can get your feet wet selling costume jewelry? Go down there and let me know. Okay, so we've got 3 more to go. Let's take a peek at the next one. So the next one is Sarah Coventry. This is another one that I find fairly frequently. So here are the dates on Sarah Coventry, 1949 to, it says, you know, 1984, then 2000. So it's started a long time ago, but also it has some more current pieces. And again, most of the ones I see say Sarah Cov, okay? And then there are a few that has SC. Mary says, I find a lot of Tryfari, but it's always the lower end stuff. Keep the hunt up. It's gotta happen, right? Okay, Grandma and Rocky, sorry if I say your name wrong. I find my name, but never Tryfari. Oh, keep looking. All right, so here are a lot of Sarah Coventry. I don't think I've seen this one with the, oh, that's Lady Coventry. Okay, that's probably why. All right, so let's take a look at some of the prices that Sarah Coventry can bring. So again, I've searched, you know, just sold listings. There are over 5,000 results, and this has just ended recently. So I'm seeing as low as $5. Now, again, some of these would be prices that perhaps I would price higher. But hey, you know, like this Oriental Lanterns one, personally, I'm like, oh, that might have sold for a little bit more if you're willing. And that's the thing too about jewelry, is that you might have to wait for that right buyer. It's not like some of these quick flips. You know, some of them might be. Some pieces you have might be quicker flips, but some of them, you know, you might want to price it and just wait for that person that's looking for that particular piece. That's my strategy anyway. All right, so again, some are on the lower end, but you can see, yeah, some of these I would definitely have priced higher. I'm going to turn off auctions because where are you, auctions? And I cannot find it because I'm looking for it now live. There it is. Okay. So here we've got a Peru. Yeah, I'm not very good at saying that word, but it's a set where it's got 3 pieces or more. And so that one sold $50, but they took a best offer. We have got some cameos. So some of these, you know, I think could have maybe sold for a bit more, but that's just personally what I think, but yeah. But let's take a look at some of the higher ticket ones that have sold on Sarah Coventry. So here's one, Sarah Coventry Indian Treasure, sold for $55. Here's another set that sold for $55. So, and then here's just a lot of butterflies that sold for $55. I think it's probably some Sarah Coventry, some other things as well. Or here's a Versailles, is that a ring or a bracelet? I can't really tell. Sold for $56. So definitely there are some higher end items as well. Here's the Art Deco Aurora Borealis Crystal Sarah Coventry set there. So keep an eye out for Sarah Coventry. And as you can see, there are some that sell on the lower end, and there are some that sell on the higher end. And that's true for all of these, definitely. Mara Postis Gifts in the chat says, I'm now preparing some Tryfari, Cora, Monet, Sarah Coventry for listing. Oh, good, good. Hey, this is timely then, isn't it? All right. Yeah, and there, Rosa was talking about how I say perur. I did a video about costume jewelry or terms, jewelry terms that you need to know. And the first video, there are some words I just can't get out of my mouth. So check out the video. Maybe you can help me dissect these words. All right, next up, we've got two more to go. The next one is Napier, and I just did an amazing book review about the Napier Co. written by Melinda, and her last name is escaping my brain right now, but it's an amazing book. And there was way more to Napier than I ever could have imagined. So these are some of the different marks for Napier. So it started off Bliss Company, and this is back in 1875, you guys. It's been around, or was around, for a really long time. And then all the way basically up to 2000, it was bought out. But there are lots of different marks. And there is even, you know, sterling silver, Napier. There's a lot of really nice things as far as Napier goes. It even says marketed 14 karat gold jewelry on a limited scale in the 60s and early 70s. So that's also good to know. So if you find Napier, it doesn't mean it's necessarily just costume. It might be fine jewelry as well. And some pieces had actual cultured pearls or small diamonds. Pearls? Let me say pearls this morning, okay? All right, so let's take a look at some of the Napier pieces. Oh yeah, okay. So here are some, again, sold listings, 4,000 on there. And as you can see, there are some, again, higher end, lower end. Again, this is an auction here. So here's an American flag, gold tone Napier, $12. Statement necklace, $20. Again, there are the lower end range and the higher end range on Napier stuff. So just keep an eye out for that. And it might be something that you consider if you find a bunch of clip-ons or earrings making a lot. I don't do a whole lot of lots personally, but I don't mind waiting. So here's some that sold for $10. So you can see, you know, $10 and on. Look at this. Oh, wow. Vintage Napier silver chunky bracelet. That's pretty awesome looking. All right, let's take a look at the higher end as far as Napier goes. Again, there's a lot of lots, but then there are also really stunning, what they say are like runway pieces or more couture. There were different companies that partnered with Napier, like Ralph Lauren, and so you might see one that say Ralph Lauren for Napier or something like that. Then there were also these charm bracelets, which seem to be doing really well if you find a Napier charm bracelet. So they, you know, $200, that's pretty good. So keep an eye out those. Now those I would have a hard time getting rid of. These machine age art, different, very different cool earrings. So again, lots of really cool lots, but then here, there's that runway. I keep doing this for whatever reason. That runway look, the couture, and then here's a sea fern one. So there are definitely ones on the very high end, then there are ones on the, you know, lower to moderate end as well. So keep your eyes open for Napier as well. Hello in the chat. Nice to see you. So let me make sure I've got everything before we hit the last one. I am going to add a poll question right around here, and let me know if these are some things that you're going to find useful, if you're going to use this in the future, or if you're just going to forget it and just say, forget this, I'm not selling jewelry. Why not? All right, so check the poll question after the show right here, and let me know if you found this helpful at all. All right, so next up we have got Cora. So Cora is another costume jewelry brand that I find, you know, fairly regularly. And let's see if I find where the beginning of it is. So there are different hang tags. This one, it says Cora script at an angle at 1919. It doesn't say on here when they actually started. So I see that there are some that has a Pegasus figure, and it dates it a little. You know, some of them have the date on there as well. So some are in cursive. Sometimes they're in more of a print style Cora like that. I usually see cursive though, as far as Cora goes. So let's take a look at Cora. Yes, knowledge is power, exactly. All right, so these are, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off those bidding ones. I'm gonna do just buy it now. So overall, all the listings as far as sold went, there were over 7,000, you can see over here. But I'm selecting just buy it now. So there's over 2,000, and these are ended recently. So again, this brand has such a wide variety of styles, so it's hard to place, like when you see it, when you spot it, oh, that's a Cora piece. There's a really big variety of stuff. So just gotta flip it over and look at the name, right? So here are some different earrings and brooches. You know, here's one that looks like peacocky colors, gold tone. So here's an Adolf Katz design, so that's good to know. Oh my gosh, I have not seen this one, but we were talking about this fish and how there were knockoffs of it. So you have to be careful, because some of these higher end ones, and there are sites that can help you identify which is the knockoff. Because I remember this particular fish and looking at it and looking at the knockoff picture and trying to compare the two. Yeah. Cora Craft Sterling Figural lionfish? I think it was a lionfish. So yeah, keep that in mind. Okay, so those are some different ones. Lots, again, high-end, median, you know, and lower end, but definitely something to keep an eye open for. Look at these brooches. Oh my gosh, what a fun lot, right? Vintage enamel brooches. That's a good price too. I like it. All right, let's look at the high to low, because this is I'm going back to the top so you can see. I just got caught up in looking at all the pictures. If you like jewelry like I like jewelry, you'll understand getting lost in the in the solds and all the pictures of the pretty things. So sold listings, price highest first. Again, there's lots of lots. Here's a Griffin brooch, which is pretty cool. That sold for $700. Not too bad. Looks like a private listing there. Here's a Cora bracelet. Good morning, Joe. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming. So again, lots of different higher end pieces of Cora as well. Look, here's that lion, I guess it's a lionfish. Right, keep your eye open for that. Look at these bees. Oh my gosh, my sister would love that. So those are 5 of the costume jewelry brands that are fairly common to find out there, and the kinds of prices that you can try to catch when you are selling them. Again, this site, Illusion Jewels, is an excellent resource. Let me flip it back over so you can see. Is an excellent resource for looking up different maker's marks of vintage and fashion costume jewelry when you're out doing some research on what you're finding. And again, I'm going to put that poll question up there and let me know if you found this video helpful, if this is something you're going to be able to use. And if you enjoyed this video, please go share it with a friend. Let them know, hey, let's start researching and selling jewelry together. And go down there, you leave this a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you're like, this was worthless. And last but not least, find me on Facebook. Come join our jewelry group so you can expand your knowledge and learn more about jewelry, or just ask questions if you have any. Go over there. It is Texas Gals Jewelry Lovers. The link is down below. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for coming to hang out, you guys. Yay! Have a great day. Bye. I'm stopping it, but it's not stopping.